Hey, and welcome to the Vergecast for the week of November 5th, 2012, also known as our birthday Vergecast. I'm Josh Topolsky.
I'm Paul Miller.
I'm Nilay Patel.
Are you watching this on your laptop?
I have no idea what's
Seems like you are.
Yeah,
We're about to get a cool echo.
Sounds like it.
You can see in the year we've been doing the
We've learned
Vergecast, we've
nothing.
really gotten pro.
Oh, I see.
So I just want to say we're celebrating the 1 year birthday of the Verge, and also the death of my hairstyle.
Yes.
Am I right? what is going on up here?
It's my favorite Kanye.
But we got
record.
these
of the
birthday. What are these called?
They're called blowers.
We got these blowers, but what we found
don't
is that
make noise.
they don't make noise, but we've been trying to get them to go as slowly as possible. Let's do it a little bit for everybody at home.
I had a pretty good one going.
I got technique. All right, we're done with this.
Oh, I also discovered you could do this with them. And I'm hoping to attack a child with this later.
I got you guys.
That's the
cards.
Wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Paul got his cards.
Paul got his cards for our birthday. Oh, by the way, this is the Vergecast where we discuss the week in technology culture.
This is the first cast where we give each
and
other
culture.
cards.
Culture,
Let's also
culture.
celebrate our birthdays.
What is going on with this hair?
sweet.
I should have
Yeah.
put
Very nice.
product in it.
should.
That's not bad. Somebody get me a hairspray. Give me
Thanks
the
for what you
soundtrack
said.
to Hairspray.
Oh, nice.
You read it out loud, man.
Dear Nilay, thanks for what you said about me leaving the internet being your favorite thing about year one. You can read that two ways.
I know, but I choose
Can
to read
I
it
just point out
in
that
a positive way.
Paul was too cheap to get us different cards?
I mean,
Why-
What am I supposed to do?
Why? Show him your card. You think he would get us personalized?
Here's how-
By the way,
personalized
there's one more
cards.
line. Please keep the rock and roll dream alive for all of us.
Okay.
I will do that.
Let me
Thank you.
read you mine. Dear Josh, wow, this handwriting. He didn't
I-
write. He didn't write that.
I know,
What's going on? My
it's
hair's
pretty
leaking.
bad.
Okay. Dear Josh, thanks for bringing me along to start The Verge and putting up with all the shit I gave you. Woo. About the page layout. It's true. Paul actually hated our page layout. I mean, but still. Now that you don't see it,
I don't
though,
see it as often.
I'll take a nightmare hell ride with you anytime, or we could do dinner. You choose. Love. I think this is signed Palm. Does it say Palm? Love Palm?
Yeah, like Palm. That's from Palm.
This is from John Rubinstein. This is very nice, Paul. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I choose a Nightmare Hell Ride and dinner.
Oh wow.
Ooh, Nightmare
Actually,
Hell Ride,
a
two
Nightmare
dinner.
Hell Ride during dinner.
Yeah.
So like dinner to go.
Dinner
All
to
right.
go to hell. Anyhow, that's it's very nice, very
Yeah.
sweet. I mean, I'm still disappointed that we couldn't have different cards, but I'll take what I can get from you.
Yeah.
That's very nice, Paul. I didn't get you a card.
No, I only got cards because I went to Party City with Ross to get all this other stuff, and
Having Party City in such close proximity
it's
to our
Party City
workplace.
is the best.
and then what I ended up
We
with
had a- we got a
I ended up
fog
with a 20
machine.
pack of these
Oh,
cards.
you know what we should do is get the fog machine going in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where's the
yeah,
fog
dude.
machine, guys?
Happy birthday.
Is
it's
it
at
the
the
office?
office.
Oh gosh.
Because that's where we need it.
That's true. It was foggy the whole time.
Yeah.
Also, there was a glow in the dark hound
Where's
Oh,
this?
that was haunting all of us
At the office.
the whole time, all day.
Oh yeah. So anyhow, this is our year one remembrance
Yeah.
show. Remembrance of years
So
past.
what happened was our birthday was actually November 1st.
November 1st is our birthday.
But we were hurricaned out, which is very disturbing.
We tried to do like a makeshift Vergecast, but it was
Terrible.
very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to do that all the time? When
Yes.
We all would stay at our homes?
Yes, we used to do. I mean, when we did the Engadget podcast, we did it remotely.
Yeah.
we did. This is my next
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
Yeah.
remotely.
Podcast.
That was always embarrassing because like my computer was like there's a ladder behind my computer. I looked like I lived in like a closet.
You also have. Remember, you used to have sounds at your apartment that were like clanging, weird
Yeah.
clanging sounds.
Yeah, it was.
It was like your steam heater.
I,
or
mean, I
something?
still live there, but
You also
now,
chose
now
to
you
use
guys
a-
don't have to see it.
He also chose to use a first gen MacBook Air to try to podcast
Right.
with. Like light
I will
house on fire.
actually that's a good start to our remembrance because I very early on when we started planning the Verge, which at that time, well actually I wanted to call it the Verge from like day one, and we kept trying to find a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we ended up coming back to the Verge, but I remember one of our early planning sessions was in your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was exciting.
No, we had an entire. I remember this very distinctly. We had an entire let's find a different name meeting.
Yeah.
It was like me, Paul, Ross.
Yeah, we didn't
Joanna.
invite Josh because we were all rebelling against.
I remember hearing about this.
And
The failures.
I just remember it was very dark in Paul's apartment, and Paul was like in the corner, upside down, riding a bike with the wheels in the air, just like muttering words, like muttering nouns.
I mean, it's a proven fact. What? You have a photo?
I have a photo of that somewhere.
It's a proven fact that that when you want to come up with a name for something, trying to come up with a name for it is the most impossible.
Yeah.
You know, but anyhow, it's been a year of being launched. I mean, we keep in mind we were working on the Verge. Stop shaking. We were working on the Verge.
Just the microphone hears sounds, but it doesn't understand them.
We were working on the Verge long before. This hair is really bothering me. This is like the worst hair day ever for me.
Here, just wear it.
It's better.
We have a number of
No,
hats.
it's good. We were working on. There's some weird things taking up. We were working on the Verge, obviously, long before the Verge happened, and we had This Is My Next, and even before This Is My Next, I mean, we were, figuring out. There was a period where we were kind of like, well, what are we going to do? And then it was like, This Is My Next, and it's like, okay, now we have to start building this thing while we're doing This Is My Next, and it was longer than a year that we've actually been like doing a new thing, but it's been a year officially since the launch day of The Verge, which seems crazy.
Yeah, I'm still really proud of it, since we're talking about names, of the This Is My Next name, because it was riffing on a thing you would always say on the podcast, like, this is my next phone. And like the idea of something like that, what we were going to build was the new thing that we were excited about. We weren't building something on spec for somebody.
Hopefully other people would be excited.
Yeah, but we were building something that we really wanted.
That we wanted, except for the layout, which you didn't want.
Yeah, except for the layout.
That's one small piece.
Yeah.
But that name is. I wish in a way we could have held on to the name. I mean, I don't know if I talked about this, but I did. We did bat around the idea of calling it Next.
Yeah.
And I actually,
God, that would have been
I actually emailed people at Apple, and I was like, "Is there any way you'd be willing to let us use the URL next.com?"
They said no.
Needless to say, they did not accept my offer of $0.
What are they using it for, man?
Hey, you never know. Could revive the brand.
They actually said yes, but only if you do it capital N, lowercase e.
Yeah, we had to use the original
X.
logo.
I was like, you can't do that on online. Actually, you can. But anyhow, the point is, but we toyed around with lots of different Next names. But then the Next Web existed, and it was like, we don't want to be confused with anybody, and we went back to we ultimately went back to the Verge. We originally it was just like, I wanted to call it Verge. But Verge is owned by a company that the URL Verge is owned by a company that's doing nothing with it. That had ridiculous requests when we asked them if we could use. They were basically like, we're going to need your firstborn and Paul Miller.
Yeah.
In addition, and also $1 million. And we were like, okay, well, we'll just be the Verge. Yeah. I mean, it was going to be The Verge, but it was going to be Verge.com.
Yeah.
And now it's just The Verge, and it's TheVerge.com.
It's fine.
Anyhow, so feel free to DDoS Verge or whatever.
Please don't.
Not our problem.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, we are. It is the week of the 5th of November.
Yeah.
So time to rise up.
Yeah.
Time to get your Guy Fawkes mask on and rise up. I think it's
Guy Fawkes?
I think it's Guy. Well, it's Guy if you live in America.
Guy Fawkes.
Well, it's not.
I prefer to pronounce it Guy Fuckess.
I don't think that's right.
You know who doesn't impact my life at all now that I'm not on the internet? Anonymous. They've never
can't do anything
They've never
to
done
you.
anything to me. They've never sent me a letter. They've never been outside of my door.
They haven't DDoSed your PO box.
No.
PODOS.
PPOS. What would it be?
PODOS.
No, DPOS. Denial of post office
Service.
Post office service.
Yeah.
Or you could be PO could be short for postal.
I would like to challenge Anonymous to mail DOS.
Yeah.
Paul.
Can you? Could
Like,
Anonymous?
they have to buy stamps.
You know what?
Like cost them an enormous amount of money.
I got DDoSed one time. A friend of mine, she had a key and she went into my apartment to get something from my sister. It's very complicated.
Yes.
But there's like a button on my door that you can lock it, and it makes it so that you can't open the door from the inside or the outside. So I had to use a coat hanger to get out of my apartment.
Nice.
That is interesting.
I had to get in through the fire escape and then to get out of my
Anonymous
apartment.
wasn't behind that attack.
Yeah, that was just your sister
but I'm
locked the
saying
door.
if they're looking for ways to DDoS
your sister
me,
is an Anonymous.
Yeah, she's a well. Who knows? Maybe
right.
she is.
That's
Maybe
right.
she is, and maybe she's not.
No, they are Legion.
They are Legion.
Okay, so we have some news to talk about.
We do.
Just a little bit of
All right.
stuff happened.
All right, cool.
And then we have I have a whole list of
You don't
awesome
want to
stuff
give
we've
the
done for the year.
day-by-day saga of this entire year.
A list of
everything
I
remember-
that we
do
did?
want to do that.
Day 2. Day 1. I'll
I
never.
woke up, brushed my teeth, took a
Yeah.
shower.
I mean, we were up very late the first day. I'll never forget the feeling, though. I think I might have even said it to you when we launched. It was like, oh yeah, now. But it was a really good feeling. It was like, now we have to work tomorrow like a regular job.
Yeah.
It was like up until that point we'd been just working on making it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, tomorrow, like we just have to cover the news.
Yeah.
It was very exciting.
It was very
We've made,
strange.
we've made a promise.
The promise of the Verge.
Yeah.
Well, you
When
mean because we launched the site?
when you put up the site on the internet, you've made a promise that you're going to keep on doing the thing that the site does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because otherwise people will probably not want to
Yeah, it's
go
like
there.
it's a promise to yourself. Really.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's a promise to all sorts of people.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a roundabout way of thinking of it. But anyhow, go ahead. Tell me about your news.
All right, so there's like two
Fine,
things.
Nilay. Talk
There are
about the
two
news.
big things to discuss today, and one just like broke literally as we are coming in, which is that AT&T has, under threat of lawsuit, revised its stance
You see, people have power
Stance on what?
on
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
You don't have
So,
to get the special plan
Did
for FaceTime.
I say this?
No, did you?
Did I kind of?
Are you asking
say
us
this?
if you said it? Because I don't.
Can I
remember
tell you
hearing
what's
that.
going on, and then you can be.
Let
then
me
you
like
can-
let me like correct you before you
Like
say
I can
anything.
be smug before or after you give me the
I
actual
know, but
details.
I just want to give you the
All right,
details.
cool,
So here's
thanks.
what happened. So AT&T said iOS 6 is out. We're only allowing FaceTime if you upgrade your plans to these mobile share plans.
Right, I remember that.
Then a bunch of public interest groups, public knowledge, free press, said that's illegal because of the net neutrality provisions.
Right.
There's only one that exists for mobile phones, which is the carriers can't block competitive voice and video services.
like exactly.
That's exactly
in
what
exact
AT&T 's
opposition
doing.
to what they were doing.
AT&T's counter argument was, no, we won't block apps you download, but apps that are bundled we can block as we wish, which is insane.
Right.
All those groups said we're going to sue you. They threatened to sue. They have reached a settlement with AT&T, so they're not going to sue. And AT&T has promised within 8 to 10 weeks to allow FaceTime.
They just have to- they just have to-
No, but they've done as little as possible
Right.
to allow FaceTime on LTE devices that have tiered data plans.
Okay.
So if you upgraded to an iPhone 5 and you were grandfathered into unlimited, still can't get it. They're still making you change your plan.
I don't understand that.
They're as little as possible.
Do they really think it's going to be used so much that it's going to like bring the system to a halt?
And so over the
No, I don't know.
over 8 to 10 weeks, they're like slowly.
So it's going
moving.
to
They
take
just want
them
money.
2 months.
They just want your money.
They're moving the mouse across the screen, and then there's like a drop down menu, and they click the
pretty
drop
much.
down menu, and they go
Like
slowly
allow,
go down,
don't
and then
allow.
they-
I mean, I love the idea that like, we're going to need about 10 weeks to just get the infrastructure right.
Yeah.
Because nobody's using video on Skype apps.
Yeah.
Like we just need to get a bunch of
We need
stuff
to
in
figure it out.
order.
And so
then
if you're
we
an
can
iPhone
finally
4S
engage.
user, right, you're screwed. Even though your phone, if you have an iPhone 4S
'Cause
and
it's not
AT&T,
LTE.
it says 4G in the corner just to taunt you a little bit.
This is an outrage.
And AT&T, the first line of the press release, as you may know, we have always allowed FaceTime to be used on mobile share plans and over Wi-Fi.
Right.
Thanks, AT&T.
I'm so glad. Can I just tell you?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and I don't know if Verizon allows me to use stuff over Wi-Fi or not. I'm so happy that AT&T is there.
And the goodness of their heart.
to protect what I can do on Wi-Fi. Like, they're letting me use FaceTime over
Right.
Wi-Fi. There are places you can't use FaceTime
Well,
on Wi-Fi.
what was really-
where
what was
where
really
a
great-
mobile or a cellular carrier will come into your house. They'll put a Wi-Fi shield around your device that doesn't let just certain things access your Wi-Fi.
that you're not
and
paying
AT&T
for.
doesn't do that.
What was
thank
really
you.
great?
So thank you to AT&T for just being a
Right.
super bro.
Yeah,
Just
no.
being an awesome bro to
No.
me and to the rest of the consumers.
During the hurricane,
Thank you.
During the hurricane, when the power went out and I didn't have cell service, but all my friends on Verizon had cell service.
Yeah.
I could use Wi-Fi.
Yeah, AT&T let you access
AT&T
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they were like, there you go.
We're
By all
sorry you
means.
can't.
They were like,
you
you know,
can't use our cell phone network.
we know we're having-
south of 40th Street, but go ahead and use Wi-Fi.
We know that
Use
our-
all these other networks that work.
We know
Yeah.
that
We'll
our,
allow it.
We know
Well,
that our
if you have a
greatly
battery-powered
inferior
Wi-Fi network.
we know that our greatly inferior network has gone down, but
Right.
hey, we still provide Wi-Fi to you through other people who aren't our business.
Right.
Yeah.
That where no money changes hands to us and it's not our Wi-Fi at all.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to use it, no problem. Go ahead.
I mean, this is how they're set. I mean, they've done as little
I'm
as
sorry.
possible. But I would like
can
to
we
point
just address
out
this? How insane it is that they even
that they keep insisting.
say that.
Yeah. They always say it.
You're looking at my hair, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's doing something.
I like kind of want to go over there, and there's just that little piece.
Which one?
Oh, that was a
No,
lot
that's
better.
good.
Now
Just
you've
leave
got like a
that.
very direct.
Now
thing
you've
to
got an
work with.
antenna.
Here, you got this
AT&T will
antenna.
let you access Wi-Fi through that guy.
What, I got a pea sticking
Can you,
out?
like, can you just reach over and just help him out with that one
yeah,
little
what is
antenna?
I like it.
Can you fix that, Nilay?
I kinda don't
Come on,
want it.
fix
Go
that
for it.
antenna.
Go for it.
All right, here you
Fix
go.
the antenna.
Happy
There we go.
Happy birthday, JT.
No, now you got a string
man.
here.
No, that's good.
Fix the string.
No,
You
I'm not-
can fix the
I'm
string.
not
You know how to fix
participating.
strings. There you go. That's
Nice.
good.
That's your birthday present.
It's kind of wing. I need a haircut. That's all. Guys, I need a haircut. Someone get
Yes,
me
you
a
do.
haircut.
Oh,
Get
no.
a pair of scissors
Okay.
for my birthday, for the birthday of the Verge.
At the
I'm getting a
Polygon
haircut.
party where
So can I do
there's
my-
a barber chair.
Michael rose. He rose in there to get scissors.
Can I do my see I told you so?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I'm very curious.
When this happened, we all freaked out. It is stupid. AT&T is idiots and are idiots.
Yes.
yeah,
They're idiotic.
There's all idiots.
And
Yeah.
they, this is anti. This is whatchamacallit?
it's anti-consumer.
It's anti-consumer.
Anti-consumer. Consumer hostile.
Yes.
Yep, it impedes the free
and-
market
but all
of
I
apps
said
and
was, like,
services.
People are gonna freak out and complain, and they're gonna change. So obviously,
wait,
I wasn't
wait.
100% right because they didn't change all the way, but I feel like I was a percentage right.
I just
No,
wanna-
but so-
I
but
think-
the reason that they changed.
what I was saying is this happens all the time. They make horrible consumer hostile
Wait.
decisions, and then people freak
But
out,
so
and then
the
things
piece
start
that you're
to change.
missing, though, is that the reason that they changed is because they had 1 week regulation. They were threatened with violence.
I think what I'm hearing from
there was
Paul,
like enforcement.
I think but Paul's got an underlying message. What is what I'm hearing from him? Let companies do whatever they want because the market will self-correct when consumers
but
are
I'm saying the
enraged
market
about
didn't
it.
do it.
But I think Paul's suggestion, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think what you're suggesting is like consumers will speak out about things that they're unhappy about, and the companies will respond to the consumer speaking out. I just feel like it's like if you catch it, but like I think there's a
the
lot of
thing
stuff
is
that like
we-
you don't that
well,
isn't
no,
that
look,
big of a
here's
stink
how
about.
the market.
It's slowly gotten better, and I don't.
No, it's getting worse. That's what I'm saying. It is actively getting worse all
there was
the
a
time.
you could not do some of these things with your devices.
That's
there was
because-
times when
Well,
they
there was
blo-
a time when
they
I had to
blocked
wait for-
Slambox, and now they don't.
Well, look, it's AT&T didn't change its mind because consumers were like, "Screw it! I can't use FaceTime. I'm going to pay my early termination fee.
Right.
I'm going to
Well,
go to
some-
That's true.
Verizon."
And I didn't
Some
say
might
I
have,
didn't
right?
say
I don't
that
think
they
they're
would do
responding to
that.
Huh?
Some
Yeah,
did.
there was
but I
no,
doubt-
but there was no market.
Most
force
consumers had
there.
never heard
what
of that.
AT&T responded to was, "We're going to get sued and we're
Right.
going to lose."
That's
Right.
another thing that companies respond to.
No,
I'm
but
not
the
saying this
reason
is
that they
working-
can get
sued.
I'm
but
not
you
saying
understand
this is a well-oiled
that-
machine.
But hold on, you understand that
boy.
that is different than the market.
I didn't
Right?
ever. I don't
They're
think I
getting
ever.
sued
I said the
because
market.
Josh said the
I was
market.
putting
Okay.
words in his mouth.
But you understand that they're getting sued.
But he is-
Yell at him.
Okay, they're getting
I was
sued.
just trying to paraphrase what you were saying.
Whichever one of you put this thought into
Whichever
the world.
one
Yell-
do you
yell
like
at the
disagree
camera.
with?
I would just like to correct this notion. They were afraid of
like
being
this.
accused of
I'm
violating
looking
a
at this
regulation.
screen. Wait, no, keep looking at that camera because it's like you're looking
Nilay,
right
I'm
at
looking
me.
right at you,
He's talking to
Josh.
the red
yeah,
state.
yeah.
No, they were afraid of a regulation. An effective regulation. As weak and as half-assed as we've decided to put net neutrality on mobile,
Right.
that's what AT&T
This is why
responded to.
regulations are necessary.
I
So
mean,
we
this-
don't have to. So the consumer doesn't have to keep people in check.
Right.
It's not my job to police AT&T.
I mean,
What is this? The Wild West?
I mean, we should be allowed to like vote with our dollars. Like
Can I ask a
AT&T
question?
should have a video calling service, and Apple should have one, and Skype should have one, and we should all pick the one that we want to use.
Who
Not be structurally limited by AT&T
Let's
as
say,
to
let's
which
say
ones are allowed
tomorrow.
to
I mean,
work.
let's say tomorrow that there was consumer revolt, and that they were like, "Oh man, we're just going to allow FaceTime over cellular, like Verizon does, because consumers are revolting." Isn't it just a big waste of everybody's time?
For
Well,
what?
Did anybody think their move was like somehow correct? The only people who thought their move was correct was AT&T
Was
because
AT&T.
they wanted more money.
Well, I do think we're definitely at this place with these wireless companies that they have made their money by selling us minutes. for a long time. It's
true.
And they can't do that anymore. And now they sell us data.
Yep.
And data is pretty anonymous and straightforward. And obviously, they have to look at much slimmer margins, competing on pretty much straight data price, which is great. We would enjoy that. We would love that. That's very fun for us. That's not fun for them as a business.
No, that's why they're
that wants
switching to all these plans.
Right. That's
But
what
that's
they're
like-
trying to do.
they're
They want to
saying,
maintain
here's
their
unlimited-
Hey, but I mean, if you
businesses-
believe in
as a business, they want to maintain a juicy margin.
maybe they should have come up with a better strategy
Juicy
than
margin.
just selling minutes. Then
These guys
Plenty
want
of rap.
juicymargin.com.
my feeling is like if the market is if it's a free market,
Right.
it's on them for not have come up with a better plan than just selling minutes.
It is.
Right. It's like
It is.
it's their own fault.
No, and so what they're doing right now, their plan right now is limiting some applications like Facebook.
They're trying to hold on to their precious
to
little
hold
li-
on to
little-
their precious
their
little
ground.
And I don't think it's going to work. That's one thing I wrote about Wi-Fi calling a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good force on these companies because ultimately they have to compete with the applications you're going to be able to use over Wi-Fi
Right.
with their data networks. And so because you have a data network that kind of feels like Wi-Fi, when you can't do something on a data network, it feels wrong. And they're going to ultimately have to compete with that. And I do think that's going to be some of a force. There are still some really
no. So this
difficult
is
things.
this is where AT&T
That's
is
really
not.
riled up.
I
You're
know
angry. Look at
what
you.
you're saying makes
Look how angry you
complete
are.
perfect sense, and they know it. And so what they're trying to do now is they're trying to claim dominion over Wi-Fi, and that's why AT&T is always saying we allow you to do this over Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but they can't claim dominion over
But
Wi-Fi.
they're trying. And
they're not gonna be able to
AT&T
just, like-
and Verizon are both building out Wi-Fi networks, and they say when you go out in public,
What do you mean?
when
What? Oh, you mean like their hotspots?
Right.
and they're like, please use our hotspots.
Yes.
You know why? Because it takes the load off their LTE
Yeah,
network.
they do. They want to
then they're
provide
like-
that service.
But they wanna get you
do they
used.
limit? Do they limit what can be done on the Wi-Fi networks?
They would be able to.
They would love to.
They would be able to.
This is why net neutrality is so important.
continue
And
to
so
track
thank God Barack Obama has been reelected into the office of the White House, the president's role in the president's role.
So this is the other.
president.
This is the other piece of news that we had to discuss.
We should talk. We should talk
But
about
so
the election.
I think the election itself. Everybody knows what happened.
Because this is a room divided.
It's
It
a room
is.
divided.
I voted for Obama. You voted for Gary Johnson, and Paul voted for Mitt Romney.
It's true.
Gary Joe.
Do we know what percentage of the vote he got?
No.
I'd like to know.
I wrote
I think
an
the entire world has been
editorial
counting votes
on,
in Florida.
on the election, and I didn't say what party it was, and it turns out a lot of people didn't know I was conservative.
Yeah.
That surprised me.
It's because you have a conservative. You have some conservative. You have some very strong conservative convictions, but you have a generally fairly liberal. You seem to have a liberal kind of personality.
Yeah.
You seem like a liberal.
I think I
He's
get
a
along.
compassionate
I
conservative.
think I get along better with liberals typically.
I think you do too, because deep down you're a liberal.
No.
No,
But
I didn't
I-
vote for Gary Johnson, guys. No.
Are people freaking out?
It didn't happen.
You nadered all over this.
I wrote an
thing.
editorial called "Why I'm Voting for Barack Obama."
I think
I wrote in Ross Perot.
I think.
Actually,
On the important social issues
have
of
you
our
do this for me?
time, you're largely conservative. On the I think economic issues, you have very strong conservative views. On our national security issues, you have powerful conservative views. Your views are all pretty conservative.
yeah,
But you look
Yeah.
like a liberal.
Thank you.
it's the hair. It's the Ethan Hawke
It is the
hair.
Yeah,
hair.
it's the Ethan Hawke
You
style.
skateboard.
You got a skateboard.
No, so here's the election is. I think everybody knows who won and what
Yeah.
happened.
Well, we don't know. Ohio.
So-
I mean, did they
no,
call?
Florida,
Has
they-
Ohio been called?
they called Florida today too.
I'm
all done.
still not. I mean, me and
So-
Carl Rover. Are
so
both-
here-
we're very concerned about.
Here's what
this
I think is
Ohio
the
call.
interesting stuff about the election, which
Carl Rove.
I think all of us can
How's
appreciate.
Carl Rove? Can anybody tell me how Carl Rove is still in existence? Can somebody just wipe this
supposed-
guy? I'm sorry. He just needs to be removed.
supposed
Sent
to vanish?
He needs to be sent to like an outer space colony
Actually-
of war criminals. With him, Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, and Ari Fleischer, who is also now on television, and of course George Bush.
Yeah,
You know, I actually like, in comparison, like Bush Romney.
yeah.
Like I felt kind of bad for Romney.
Why?
I don't know. He seems like he just,
He just wanted to be.
he wanted to be president really bad. Like it feels like it. Like I felt like in some way we took away. Like a kid was like expecting a really good like Christmas morning gift.
Yeah.
He's like, I know my parents got me that action figure I've been wanting.
Yeah.
And then he's like, They got me a tie.
And that action figure was control of the most powerful nation in the world.
They got me a socks.
Yeah.
They didn't get me the Spider-Man action figure I wanted.
So there's just a few things we can talk about here.
Yes.
And none of them really have much to do with politics directly.
Yes.
So there was a lot of discussion about voting machines.
Yeah.
There was a lot of discussion about
Rampant voting machine fraud.
well, no, I mean,
We saw that one video.
I think everybody hates voting machines or the state of affairs.
yeah, everybody
Well,
hates state of affairs.
I was confused.
New Jersey
Here,
had
here,
to implement.
We don't have to debate that because
New Jersey had to implement emergency vote by email, which might be legal. And at one point, seemed like it was just you were literally being told to send your votes to a personal Hotmail address.
I mean, New Jersey
Which
could
is, like,
go,
crazy.
could go
That's
red.
exciting.
Could go red.
That's great.
At any moment. And then I think the last
Hotmail.
thing that's really
Is it
interesting.
Hotmail when Sarah Palin had her email hacked?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was, no, it was Yahoo.
Yahoo.
But it's the same
Yahoo.
thing. I mean, like, it's not a secure place for votes.
Can you imagine those new like Hotmail like automatic filters for filtering out spam, like catching votes? Like oh
I-
shoot,
I
your
vote-
vote got stuck.
I
in
vote for Barack
spam.
Obama. Like, sorry,
Right.
it was in our spam filter.
Well, no, so Jesse wrote
You didn't get to
Jesse
vote.
Hicks, who's great, wrote a feature for us about the history of voting machines.
Yeah.
And kind of how everything is controlled at the state level, so we don't have like one unified policy,
You know,
which is good in some ways and keeps us like at this constant state of paralysis.
I don't think it's good at all. And I have to say, like, you know, there's a lot of this, like the small government movement is very much about like, let the states take it to the state level.
Yeah.
Let the states work on that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, all sorts of things like abortion and schools. And like, they're saying like states should decide. Like, I don't know why they think that. States are just a smaller version of federal government. They're not less government. It's just of government in a different
Well,
location.
it's more theoretically more responsive.
You
to
know what?
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Well,
though.
this is
we get into dark
this is like a
territory.
1700s sort of argument. you
No,
know?
but I
We're
just
like,
think, but I
we're
just
kind
think
of-
like for voting, I think here's what I think about voting. Number one, should be done on a Sunday, so everybody can do it.
No, it should be a holiday for sure.
Or it should be a national holiday where it's like you have off work if you need it.
Well, it should be like Saturday and Sunday to cover.
Yeah,
like
sure.
all-
2 days, and then it's tallied on Monday.
Because if you have a religion that gets both
Okay,
Saturday
fine.
and Sunday, that's pretty
Okay,
extreme.
I mean, you know,
That would be
other
wild.
countries do it on Sunday.
I just think it's fine. I'm just
no,
pointing
yeah,
out.
I'm
I
just
think
saying we should
Brazil.
do Saturday
I
and
think
Sunday.
Brazil they do it on Sunday, and that's
I mean, we celebrate
largely Christian.
Columbus
so, I mean,
Day. We celebrate the birthdays of various
Oh, we
presidents.
have President's Day. I got to
we
go to
should-
Sears, a President's Day sale at Sears, and I can't get a voting day sale.
Yeah.
From Sears Roebuck Corporation. But first off, it should be everybody. I think it should be mandatory.
Right.
I think you should
What?
you should have to vote or pay a
No,
fine. Yes.
no.
Yes.
What the?
I think you should be fined if you don't
This is-
vote.
And you have to vote for Josh.
This is
I think you have
not
to vote for the
going- this is
Democratic.
going
Don't you
very
think it's-
badly.
No, don't you think it's insane that we don't require our citizens to cast a vote?
No, I think it's incredibly rational
think
not
it's
to
not.
require
No.
people to vote.
I think everybody should be required to vote. You pay $25, and I think that
you $25. You just made up a number.
Whatever the fine seems appropriate. I think that it should be a holiday, or it should be a day when everybody can go do it, so you don't have to worry about it. And I think that the voting should be. We should have a group of geniuses get together, like scientists and computer scientists and artists and great filmmakers. And you don't need to get
Filmmakers?
that. No, but we should get a group together that's like, we're going to figure out
Yeah.
a logical, sensible way to do, like, what is a ballot going to look like? How is it going to work?
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a computer or a piece of paper or whatever. I just think it should be.
I would like a graphic designer to have a look
Yeah,
at
no,
that
graphic
thing.
designers should absolutely be
Yeah,
involved.
so my
They should
ballot
say,
in Wisconsin was literally I had to color in an arrow, and I was like, "Who designed?"
you voted in
this?
Wisconsin?
Yeah,
Colored in an
It's my
arrow?
permanent address.
Well, that's illegal, I think.
It's
Our-
a
it's not illegal.
Scantron
It was
situation.
absentee ballot.
in New York, it was like a school test where you had to color in the circles.
But there
and
were
then- and then
multiple
you-
options. You could
No, it's
choose
insane. They had-
Obama twice.
Can anybody tell me why? Can I?
You
can we
could.
get-
You-
I'd like to-
you could choose Obama
three-
as a
three times.
Democrat
Democrat,
or a
working
working
families,
family.
or there was another one.
Was there?
Yeah,
know.
I think there was a third one.
I wouldn't know because I didn't vote for Barack
The
Obama.
point is, you still had to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy not only didn't vote, but I was unable to see his name anywhere.
Yeah.
Due to my hatred for his socialist government.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, but yeah, no, designers and smart people should get together and say, like, here's the most logical, clear way for everybody to vote. And it's the same everywhere. Like, it's not like, oh, we had hanging chads in Florida, and over here you've got weird Xboxes, and like there's colored lines in Wisconsin. It's like, what? You're voting for the president.
Right.
You're not voting for like what color the new Beetle should be. I don't know what that means.
What?
Yeah.
You mean like the Volkswagen Beetle?
Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna have one crazy color this year. Would you want to be pink or green? Like, it's like an important.
It's like
thing.
M&Ms. You're thinking about
they're
M&Ms.
M&Ms. Like, what's our new M&M color? It's like an important thing.
Yeah.
And we have these voting systems that are. Ours was insane. You have this list. You have Barack Obama. I mean, maybe there's a reason. I get it. Fine. He's in working families.
Oh, so this is actually another. We should. I'm gonna just.
Sure, I didn't have a point.
I'm gonna
to
tangent
finish.
you.
This hair is. driving me
so-
insane. Can I just get? I just want a hair product. Bring me
I
a
think
hair
you're
product
trying
right
to
now.
mess it up at this point.
I don't know. All right, let's keep going.
You're
so-
looking for like toss.
No, so this was actually a big story on Election Day, and something I saw everywhere was my entire Facebook feed was people taking pictures of their ballots,
Which is illegal.
which is illegal. Nobody knows it's illegal, obviously.
I mean, whatever.
And those
We
ballots.
have bigger problems in this
but that's
country
a
than people taking
fel-
pictures
so
of
in
their
Wisconsin,
ballot.
that's a felony.
Well,
which
no,
is
nobody's
insane.
going to go get. They're not going to like, oh, is it Facebook? Oh, John Smith on
But
Facebook.
what I
Where does he
think-
live? I'm
but
going
this
to go to
is
his
like-
house and arrest him for a felony for taking a picture of his ballot.
I would.
No one, buddy.
The sheriffs in Wisconsin
We
are
have real
out there.
problems in this country.
No, but- so-
we have
but
we have
that's
an
an
economy
example.
in distress. We have jobs that we need jobs.
All
All the jobs. We got heated partisan politics tearing us apart.
No, but this is an example
Nobody
where
cares if you take a picture of your ballot.
but it's a place where the technology, like just the sheer existence of technology, has like actually turned people into criminals without them knowing it.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like
took a
those
picture
laws,
of
those
my
laws
ballot
against taking
and then
photos.
used a printer, an instant printer in the booth to reprint a copy of it, and then
Decided to put it again.
and then voted twice.
Yeah.
Using a fake name.
Because those laws against taking photos in polling places are designed to prevent voter intimidation. But now it's like,
Well, they ought to have a law to prevent Black Panthers who are intimidating people
by
all
holding
over
the door-
America.
by holding the door open.
I like these reports on Fox News about Black Panthers intimidating people at polling places. Like there's Black Panthers in Idaho at polling places.
my friend. No, that's not true.
Sure. Anyhow, sorry, but that's voter intimidation is not the problem here.
Well, I just think it's interesting. I mean, this was like
The problem is we have
this wave of
we have a postal service level organization of our voting process in America for voting in the president. Like, have you been to the post office lately?
Yeah.
No.
I know you have.
The post office is a single organization.
No, I know,
It's
but
just subsidized by which government? Is
yeah, but
that
it's
the
been chipped
subsidy?
away. It's been chipped
Is that
away.
the state government?
It's been chipped away.
The postal
Oh yeah,
service
because the
out, or
postal
is that
service
the
would work.
federal ser-
The postal
is
service
that
would work a
federal
lot better.
government?
The postal service would work a lot better if it were a state to state organization, wouldn't it? You could ship that,
it would work
but
a lot-
only here in New
It
York.
would work a lot better if it wasn't subsidized, and so UPS and FedEx could mail to your mailbox
Because they would definitely
leave a slip on your door all the
because you know
time.
what the thing about UPS and FedEx is they're known for their affordable shipping rates.
yeah.
Because they want to bring value to the customer. They don't just want to gouge prices.
I feel like
the insurance companies.
I feel like I'm in a contractual lock-in with the postal service, and I have to pay billions of dollars to early
You're not. You could
terminate.
send everything through FedEx.
I think the postal service has been
Not
chipped
to-
away at
not
by
to a mailbox.
I do think that the postal service is the kind of thing that when Republicans talk about defunding things, what they're really talking about is defunding things like the postal service,
Yeah, basically.
and they have been at work defunding the postal service, which is seen as like, do we really need that? It's like schools. They want to privatize schools. Like, should the government be involved in making sure we have the best schooling system in the world, or should it be Dow Jones, or not Dow Jones, Dow Corn? No, who is the Dow Corning? Is that
Yeah.
They don't actually run schools, but they're like a big.
But they would just teach
business.
everybody how to
Like
be
should be
class.
Johnson and Johnson should be
here's the
right here
thing-
at school.
Here's the thing about talking
Can I just say one?
No,
Can I
you
tell a
can't.
story from my
Here-
youth?
no,
My high
here's the
school
thing.
was owned by Johnson Wax. I
That's
just want to
great.
point
That's
that out.
great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not
And
even
look how you
kidding.
turned out.
Yeah, that's
maybe
true.
maybe we're making a mistake here.
Well, I could pick up any.
Here's the thing about
I could pick up
talking-
any phone in the school and like hit random 4 digits and get like VPs at SC
Are you
Johnson.
serious?
Yeah. It was
And also,
ridiculous.
all the tables were really, really polished.
Everything was very clear. There's
Beautifully
Windex
polished.
everywhere.
Anyhow, all I'm saying is, I don't know.
No,
I don't know the
Here-
answer.
Here's the thing about talking about politics on the podcast. 1, I lost, and so I'm sad.
Yeah.
2, Two is that you can't just say a series of sentences that are like wild political assertions without being able to really suss them out. And we don't have time to really suss them out.
Why not? Why not?
So,
Well, it's the thing I wanted
which
to
one
talk
do you want to
about.
talk about? Do you want to talk about the public school
I mean, it's
system?
all
and
America's. We got a lot of
customs?
problems in America. What would you say is the biggest problem in America right now?
The fact that we're talking about politics. on the
No.
podcast.
What's the biggest problem in America right now that we need to deal with? We got to bring jobs back to America, which is also an economy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to transition from here to the thing I wanted to talk about.
Can we talk about the
election.
military-industrial
Talking
complex?
about gadgets.
No, well, this is the nerdier thing, and I think this actually touches on that.
Net neutrality is the biggest problem facing America.
No, it's the real story of this election in terms of how it was won was that it was won by the Obama campaign using an enormous amount of data. And the media narrative was driven by whether or not Nate Silver at the New York Times and another set of quantitative analysis nerds, most of whom were professors at universities, whether their modeling of polls would do better than the Republican consultant class, which all predicted a Mitt Romney landslide. And obviously Nate Silver hit it perfectly. A number of those
They all
professors
predicted a Mitt Romney landslide.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
I didn't
but-
really hear that.
I mean, if
being
you
spread
like,
around.
I heard
Is
George- it
Rasmussen one of the?
George? I mean, like I just saw George Will did it, Rasmussen did it, Peggy Noonan. I mean, I saw over and over again.
There were certain.
I
polls-
believe that Romney will win because
I think what we've learned is.
the turnout won't be as high.
Well, I think
Right,
what,
right,
I think what we
right?
saw is like.
And what? So, but to just
So you're saying
to
we've
finish
reached
this
the point where
transition,
data
but,
is right.
But to finish this transition, one of the biggest classes of people that was underestimated was women in America and how they would vote and the issue they would vote on. And abortion is an enormously important one, right?
Yeah.
And that is like,
Well, that is actually in this election. I mean, not to get back onto this topic, but we kind of have to if we're going to talk about it. And it just does kind of go back to that data. But in this election, there were a bunch of points where it seemed like abortion came up as an issue in a way that was negative seemed very negative for the Republicans. And it's clear that well, based on this election, and we can assume the previous election, that women in America certainly want to have a say in. They're worried about not having a say in what and how they live.
right.
And so
just to finish the transition and get way off abortion.
I want to transition back to abortion. Deep.
No. No, but the model, the Obama campaign knew it, right? They knew that they had the model in their favor, that targeting these issues would break the model in their favor.
But Obama didn't make a. They didn't more than likely they were running a lot of ads about their
No, so
social policies.
So this is the thing.
It was more like.
But so they were targeting, their ads were like very deeply targeted. So they had all this money, and they were literally, I think Time ran a big expose.
Yeah, they had a
on,
big
like,
piece on their data.
and it was like they were running ads on like Sons of Anarchy and like weird Bravo shows that nobody would think to run ads on because usually political ads are run on like 60 Minutes and like daytime news shows.
They ran that crazy PBS ad for like 2 days.
Right. So they were doing this, like they call it micro targeting, right? And it's just, I think that is fascinating, where we have now reached the point where the campaigns are having what is essentially a science and technology battle over how they're going to target their messages to specific voters that they need to reach.
It's also kind of depressing.
And that is
It
far
doesn't-
more than, let's put the two guys on stage and have them talk.
It's also a little depressing that like we can be as a people can be like broken down to groups and data.
But I also think that speaks to how, yes, that sounds exactly how to win this election. I don't think every election is like that because I think some elections have slightly, have had in the past starker differences between the candidates.
Well, and I think
at this point you're really tweaking people's a little bit of emotion, a little bit of thoughts on this, emphasizing a specific issue, kind of scaring people about one thing and stuff like that. It's
well, right, but so I'm saying like if
because like at some point
maybe so you probably don't you probably didn't experience this, but there was for the past month and a half or so, I've been getting an email a day from the Obama campaign.
Yeah,
right? And they all have like really insane subject lines.
I mean, he probably would have been getting Romney emails every day.
I never signed
right, but so the thing
I would get McCain emails.
The thing about the Obama
donate?
emails is they were literally they were A/B testing strategies that worked for voter turnout. Right. So they would say, should the next email come from Biden or Michelle Obama?
Right.
Should the subject line be, hey, or I need you.
their subject
and
lines
they
are
were
insane.
betting within the Obama campaign. They were
call. Maybe it's Mitt Romney.
Their subject lines were completely insane.
It says, please stop talking about the no. Well, so.
I just think.
Do you want to take that? Do you
No,
need to take that?
I
Are
see
you
what
sure?
you're saying. I know what you're saying. I just think that ultimately there are two things that people there's a clear decision between what this president will actually do and what this president will actually do, and then there is how we end up voting, who ends up going to the polls,
Right.
why we end up voting for one person or other.
Well, this is
and it's
No.
a little
So
bit different than actual reality.
I'm going to actually just totally disagree with you.
The
conventional wisdom in America for forever has been that money wins elections, right? And that's kind of unimpeachable.
Both of them had a ton of money, though.
Right, but in this election, Obama's enormous amount of money was organized and centralized in his campaign, which was doing this targeting
Around the data.
and using the data.
Right.
And the Romney campaign.
I agree.
But just
I agree.
let me just finish.
Okay.
The Romney campaign had this enormous amount of money
Right.
in super PACs that were funded because the Supreme Court voted in Citizens United that corporations are people and they could spend as much money as they wanted.
Obama had plenty of super PACs too.
He did, but most of his money was
Super duper PACs.
funneled through directly into his campaign, and he was allowed to organize it and spend it in a data-driven way. And the Republican advantage of money was undone by their disadvantage of not targeting.
Didn't Obama have more money?
No,
Pretty sure he did.
he was always.
They did at some point, but then it went back.
But all I'm
I
saying,
think
look,
long-
it doesn't matter about.
But I think
but
the
I'm saying
point-
it doesn't matter who won in this one. What
yeah.
actually won was this use of driven data.
So I
and
see
the
this-
clear link to it
Right.
is. This is what all of the companies on the internet do to survive. This is what Facebook does.
I
and
totally
what Google
understand
does,
what you're
and
saying.
What Microsoft does.
What I'm saying is that I would rather we didn't pick our candidate or our president based on if they said hello or hey in the subject line to the email to me.
Well, that's
you know what I
it's-
mean.
But
that's what I'm saying. I agree.
But the use of data is
use of data is probably definitely a
but
big
we don't
help
pick our,
to
but we don't
Obama
pick
winning
but we don't
this
pick our
election.
candidates on that. We actually what he's saying is is that when you take the aggregate of all of those little beacons,
Well, sure.
that you're able if you know how to and what the Obama campaign may have done better than the Romney campaign or did do better if we believe what we read is find a way to shape the beacons into useful information.
And you can draw, but you can draw the line from this is how Google sells AdSense
But
ads.
can I just say, this was a close election, and like they may have done a better job. But it's not like it was a landslide. Like they just tapped into some sort of like, it wasn't a landslide.
like 332 to 209 or whatever. I mean, that's an enormous margin of victory.
The Electoral College and the popular vote are very different.
Right.
And if you look at the
3 million or
if you
whatever
look at
it
the
is now?
popular vote, it's not. I wouldn't call it a landslide. I don't think anybody's
wouldn't call
referring to it
it
as
a
a
landslide
landslide.
at all.
And what I will say is, put a candidate in there who is, in my opinion, less flawed than Romney and more like with reality.
Right.
And I'm not so sure this election would have gone the way it went. To be perfectly honest, Romney's kind of like a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. I think a different ticket. Like this is the thing that's crazy to me about America is that we had like a landslide. There was a landslide victory for Obama last election, and then in 4 years, people were like, you know what? I didn't get what I wanted out of this. I'm so fickle. I want the guy who's going to do something better for me.
Right.
And they think like the next guy, they think if you have 4 years, like you can just get all the problems fixed and then you can go on to the next guy. And if you don't get them, you can go on to the next guy. But that's what's so crazy to me is that, yeah, all this data and all this money and everything that went into like winning this election, it's amazing. But it isn't like they somehow snapped victory from the jaws of defeat. They didn't.
If you think it's close, then they won.
It was close.
Then they won. If you think it's close, and you're telling me it's close,
I thought it was a close. I thought it was a lot closer than it should have been for all of the things that I disagreed with. Let's put it this way:
so this is here's the
as a
takeaway.
lifelong Democrat and a guy who thinks that Barack Obama is doing a pretty good job. I didn't get the impression that the rest of the country feels as strongly as I do about that, and that only like a little bit better on the other side. We might have a new president right now.
No, but that's the thing. That's. I
don't think it's just.
Here's the takeaway. I think from this election:
have better candidates.
Yes. No. What is a better candidate?
No.
It's just he has to be a better person.
This is a candidate. This is
if you had a candidate who appealed, who was somewhat more appealing to
this is
non-whites and women.
No, how do you do that? What do you do that
get a
with?
better candidate.
What does a better candidate look like?
I mean, I don't know, like Barack Obama.
No,
I'm gonna say
the question you're asking.
I'm sorry,
is,
like
do you need
Romney-
a better product or better marketing?
I don't know. It's like McCain and Romney. Look, everybody
Look,
admits
better
that the
products matter.
Republican Party,
Better
yes,
products matter.
and I agree. In the Republican Party,
So that
I
is-
think,
but that
I
is-
think even Paul will admit the Republican Party seems kind of out of touch. You got to admit they seem a little bit out of touch.
Wait, the party?
The party, like the people they're putting up on stage
Right.
as their candidates, are like
Right.
seem like the wrong people for America, which is increasingly diverse, increasingly gay, increasingly not white. So it's like increasingly
Stoned.
increasingly women,
Colorado.
increasingly stoned, increasingly women have not just a vote but a voice. And you look at the Republican Party, and it is a lot of older white dudes. And like, I don't think they're connecting with America. America doesn't look like the America they think it looks like. I think it
Right.
looks, and it's not a
the
data.
Republican
It's not
Party
a
is
data
just like
issue.
an
It's like
the older white dude thing is.
I would
is
just
a
like to point
cliche.
out.
no, it's
that-
not a cliche.
but-
it's not a cliche. It's
so,
real.
But
It's real. Look at the voter turnout.
Serious contenders in the Republican primary were women and
Ross really wants us to talk about our birthday.
I want to talk about our birthday too. I don't know how we got into this political conversation. Maybe it's because our new president was just. Maybe it's because the president was just
I just
elected.
wanted to talk
You
about
want to
the
data.
enormous rise of data in this
Sure.
election.
Well, I want to talk about abortion.
No, it's just funny because the two. I'm wrapping this up.
I'm gonna arrest
but
a nigga like
I'm
you.
pointing out that the two of you.
You don't get to wrap this one up. Because
Oh,
you had a lot of
hello.
stuff. You had
Shut
a lot
down
of
by
stuff.
Paul Miller.
Or let me say one more thing, then
Yeah.
you can wrap it. Sorry, that's maybe a nicer way to say what
No. You say whatever you
I
want.
love
man.
you, honey.
There
sit down
is
together.
there is marketing.
No.
There's marketing. There is what a product appears to be, and there's what a product is. And I agree with Josh. If Romney had just appeared to be more with it, more hip.
Well, no, if he actually was.
he
Not
might have
appeared. Was.
No, I think
Ha-
if he
no, you
just
have
appeared to be,
No,
he
I think
could have.
I
He
think
might
people
have
can
been
see
able to
through
win.
that. Well, he tried to appear to be more with it.
What I wish the election was, and maybe we're past this ever being the case. I do wish it was about what they actually are.
Well,
So
here's
let
my.
me. Can I? I'm gonna. We're gonna be done with this.
Well, no,
but
you
what
don't
I'm
get to wrap
hearing,
this up.
what I'm
Marketing
hearing
is
from
not
both of you-
everything.
what I'm hearing from both of
It's
you,
everything in
is
which
this
you have
sense.
this.
You know what?
small of
Microsoft had a big
margin.
marketing budget for the kid.
That's great.
Yeah.
And the market rejected it.
But I would say
Ross
the
is
most-
like, I'm leaving. I
Ross
quit.
is like out.
He's like, see you later.
I'm trying desperately to just
No.
put an end to this.
No.
Ross
You're
is
trying to
done.
put an end
You know,
to
I
this
have to
by
say, the more we talk
summing
about
up what
politics,
we
the worse
think.
my hair gets. I
You
will
can't
say
sum up
that.
what we think. You have to sum up what you think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying to sum up
No, what,
All right.
what you think.
what I think is
Yeah.
that what I'm hearing from both of
No,
you.
no, you can't
See?
say that. No,
It's like
you
a
can't
slimy
do that.
lawyer
What
move.
do you think?
I think what you're trying to say, Paul.
I think both of you are wrong. I think.
Okay.
I think.
Why? What am I saying that's wrong?
I
You
think
don't think
you guys are?
you don't think that the election was close?
I think it was a
In
winnable election.
in battleground states,
I voted
mean,
in
it was-
battleground state
I know
on
it was
purpose,
close, and
absentee, because I felt it would be close.
I
You
think
said it
that-
was a winnable election for both.
It was a winnable election for both.
So that
which
makes it close.
and yes.
And the
then-
popular vote is only a few million.
Right.
Out of,
but I
what's
think
the total number
Obama
of votes?
came away with a very decisive victory, and I think the reason that
The
happened,
victory is clear. No one's debating that the victory is not clear.
The reason that happened was because he played a superior data-driven game.
He played
and
a superior
targeted-
game. Period.
No,
Yes.
not period.
Yes, his game was better. He was more consistent. He has a record.
Why was his game better?
He,
No, okay,
he has,
okay, Josh,
first
I'm
off,
disagreeing
he's an
with you and
incumbent.
I'm agreeing with
well,
Nilay.
No, first off, he's an incumbent. Second, he has a provable record of being president,
No,
which
no,
is
no.
a big deal. Hold
Whatever,
on.
dude.
He's
It doesn't
been
matter.
consistent in his message. He's not an unknown. He's not an X factor.
You are saying like
Yeah, but
this is how
if the
if
candidate
you're
had
the,
been,
look just
I understand that you think data didn't.
no. This is why they won. This is why they are saying they won, and I think that is vitally important.
They're not just saying they won. They won.
no, but they're.
I don't
That was
understand.
cake.
I don't understand. Can we get plates for those? I don't understand your argument. I really don't.
It's they won,
And I'm a supporter, and I don't feel like your argument
Oh,
is
Josh, you're a big bird. And
Yeah.
and Nilay, do you want to be
so many
Cookie
hands,
Monster
so many
or Almond?
hands
Monster's blue.
on this.
Monster.
I'm blue. You should be red.
You're red.
I feel like we're in the midst of a heated.
And now Ross is just ending this
All right,
moment.
let's blow them out before they melt all over the
All right.
cookie.
Okay.
I love you.
Great.
Happy birthday, guys.
Happy birthday
birthday.
to America.
Make a wish.
I wished for this conversation to you.
I wish for another
this.
another 4 years of Barack Obama.
Like after this 4 years?
Yes. Like to pull a Bloomberg.
Like, yeah.
Be like, you know what, guys? I think I should continue to be president.
Right.
Anyhow, I still don't understand your argument. Can you just tell me while I'm eating
Sure.
this? Hey, guy, can we get napkins, by the way? Napkins. Michael's actually eating a cupcake right now.
They won. They won the winnable election for them, and Romney lost because Obama's campaign used the same kinds of targeting, tracking, and like voter messaging tactics that Google uses, that Facebook uses.
I think that they won. I think they won.
And you're saying that's a better game? But that is now the only game.
I think they won.
I agree with Nilay. I'm just lamenting that is true.
No, I disagree. I think they won utilizing those and playing them to their advantage. I think they would have had a much harder time winning if they'd had somebody more formidable to go up against.
Sure.
So both things have to be in place. You have to have a candidate who is good, and another candidate who isn't as good, and you have to run a good election, which is just like every election.
But in this case, they were close enough that the marketing won.
Yes.
Yeah, we all agreed with something.
Oh, I disagree.
Like having a different candidate could have changed things.
For God's sake. Happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday to America.
For our birthday, Josh disagrees with everything.
It's not America's birthday.
America just turned 1.
All right.
Well, that's on July.
Can I have a napkin?
Politics?
No.
Ross is withholding napkins. If we're done with politics.
We talk about our first year.
Got milk?
Yeah, do we have milk?
What is
Yeah,
this?
he's so angry. Thank you.
Here.
Remember when Obama won the election?
Pile of birthday trash.
Oh, man. We're the worst.
You know what, though? This is not our best show. Not even close. But, I mean, so far from our best show.
Well. Can we see our best show from here?
Yeah, we can.
I'll be honest with you. I worry that our best show is behind us.
Is it over the hill and down the valley?
Is it morning again for the Vergecast?
Oh, my God.
Or the best years of the Vergecast behind it? The best year of the Vergecast behind us?
I think we should go forward.
Did you ever see the I don't know if it's The Simpsons or Futurama where they have presidential candidates and they're talking about their platform and
Spinning
they're like
towards freedom.
Yeah. They're like, we should go forward, not backward.
Yeah.
Left, not right. Up, not down. Like just saying. I swear there were times when these candidates were talking and it just started to sound like that to me.
No, Obama's slogan was forward.
Yeah.
That's the joke I was making. I was making a joke.
No, I know, but I'm saying that there were times with both candidates that I was just like, you're just saying stuff.
Right.
Like you're not even. These aren't even being.
Ross is literally stabbing himself in the back room.
Obama was forward, not backward, and Romney was different, not the same.
No, he was
It's like a Sesame Street.
His was.
Why are we so Sesame Street themed today?
I don't know. I probably because
those
it
are
was
my
what was
favorite
on
things.
sale at Party City.
I was at Party City.
Thanks.
Hey, Jim
Hey, Jim
Bakoff.
Bakoff. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. What are you doing here?
No,
Well,
you're not. 'Cause
you're not actually. You're on the other side. You're on the wrong
Stay on
side.
that side of the glass, man.
Yeah.
Has Jim
He's like
ever
knocking the camera.
Has Jim ever been on any of our stuff?
Jim, you want to come in for a second?
Just cameo.
Just cameo on in here.
Yeah, this is a good transition to
This
our birthday.
guy hand
over
writes
there.
me a check every month.
All right, come on in.
He's
on.
like-
Go over next to Paul.
In the memo line, he says keep up the good work. In the memo line of the check that he hand writes me
Jim
every
Bakoff.
month
This
to
is
say.
Jim
It's the
Bakoff.
CEO of Vox
CEO
Media.
you can only see just the bottom part of your head. There you go. CEO of Vox.
Yeah.
Look
How's
at
it going, buddy?
I'm gonna have a gifable moment here. What can I do? That's
GIF. It's a GIF.
gifable.
GIF.
Well, it could be.
No,
it could be. It
change
could be.
No,
it
it rhymes with gift.
It could be either. It's either.
No, it's not.
You know what?
The creators.
We
the
all
creators-
decided in 1995 that it's GIF.
The creators actually pronounced it GIF, and there's some debate about how it's actually
There is a
pronounced.
Vox
So
Media
wrong.
style guide though, and it says that you have to alternate pronunciations.
You're just, by the way, you're
my
disembodied.
mom
Is it
calls
two on,
me.
two
My
on,
mom
two off?
calls
Very
me
handsome.
Polly, but that doesn't mean my name is Polly.
You're Polygon.
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 Speaking of Polygon, big launch party tonight.
Big launch party
Yeah.
tonight.
We can't talk about it because I don't want it to be swarmed with people.
No, it's not,
Invite only.
It's in Burbank, and we're anyone.
It's in.
We're getting on Vox One, our jet.
Yeah, where are we with the jet? What's the status of that?
Vox One.
Well,
The nervous
why-
laughter. Of You're like, I have to leave.
You say it in the singular.
All right, our fleet.
So
Is our fleet
We're working
prepared
on the
yet?
fleet.
Very
there's,
exciting.
There's bulk pricing.
we're
Anyhow,
taking,
it's
we're
an-
taking Vox 4.
Fox Sports.
But Jim, good to see you. It's an exciting day for Vox in general because
Yeah.
we're celebrating. We're celebrating. This is we're having our first year birthday Verge.
Yeah, you want a cupcake?
And we've been talking about politics for 45 minutes straight.
I've been trying to be funny and ironic here, but on a sincere note,
You got to
talk to one of the mic-
on a sincere note, happy birthday to the Verge. I haven't seen you guys since we've emailed and we've IM'd, but
You almost
happy
said-
anniversary.
you almost said since the launch.
we
That's not true.
use all manner of internet communication.
yeah, exactly.
Email, IM,
All sorts of internet.
Twitter. We tweet each other.
We've
Skype.
We give each other GIFs.
From time to time. We go to meetings.
We go to meeting. We go to meeting often. We love going to meeting.
But sincerely, you know how proud I am, and thank you to the audience for making it all possible.
Don't thank these animals. Don't thank these animals. No, they're wonderful.
All right,
well,
I'll let
good.
you
So,
get back to talking
we'll
politics.
see you at the party.
Good stuff.
All right.
You missed the abortion conversation. You really. He's like,
Jim's out of here. Man.
he was like, no comment, leaving. All right, we'll see you later.
All right, I'll see you later.
Okay, we'll toast. We'll have a toast. Is there gonna be toast
Yeah.
there?
There'll be time.
See if they have cream cheese too. Let's get these hats on, shall we?
All right.
Oh, so we're talking about the year now?
We're going.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it.
We're gonna talk about our
Happy
first
birthday.
year.
Oh, shoot. I thought we
You know,
were...
hey, this hat. I think this hat will help keep my hair in place.
I'm not. Can I get a drink, though?
You think there's something wrong with your
What
hair?
is happening?
Look at
What
my
is
hair
this?
always like...
What is that?
My hair always segments out here like this.
Is this right?
You think there's something wrong with your hair, but I've got my own problem.
You do have a segment.
See, I've got like a thing. Gotta keep it...
Yeah. All right. So, there's a way I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
Because I think we've launched a lot of new products. And we've done a lot of weird new things.
Go on.
Josh was a doctor during the plague.
Yeah.
Hey, looks like you're going to die. See ya. I'm gonna treat some other people who are also going to die. Oh, by the way, I won't be washing my hands. Well, it looks pretty bad. You're definitely going to die. But on the bright side, everyone else is going to die.
Yeah. Good.
Well, let me go over here and not wash my hands. Welcome to the plague.
Welcome to the plague.
This isn't going well.
Yeah.
I think it's going great.
Worst Axl Rose solo record ever.
Anyhow, let's talk about your.
Do you have a way you want to talk about this?
I did. Well, it's just we're kind of like three or four things that we do.
If our first year was great, and I think it was, this Vergecast,
Oh, thank God.
it represents it's like the antithesis. That's the opposite,
Yeah,
right? This
yeah.
is like everything that we weren't this year,
Yeah.
encapsulated in a single
This is
Vergecast.
like the Verge won like 7 Tour de France's this year.
Yeah, and now
but
this
there
is our doping.
We were doping.
We're
by-
doping.
Yeah,
Right now.
And then we're
being stripped of our
We're
titles.
gonna get stripped
Right.
of our titles because of this podcast.
Because we should definitely talk about Lance Armstrong doping. That would be a great place for us to go. This has been such a high.
For or against?
Yeah, this has been 4. Nothing wrong with doping, kids. Nothing wrong with doping kids either.
Yeah. Just take your own blood, save it, and then put it back in your body to live. Totally
Let's
normal
talk about,
behavior.
let's talk about the Verge.
We can't.
Everybody was doping.
we were all doping this year. Is that going to be a problem?
So here's
Or-
what I think. I think we're-
can we be like if like we're up for a Webby? Can the Webby be taken away
If we were doping.
because we were doping?
Yeah. Yeah, I took some of my blood. I set
Unless
it
you're
aside.
doping in Colorado or Washington State.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think,
we did
I don't
some-
think what you think of as doping and what I think of as doping are the same thing. Are you winking at me?
No,
Wow.
I'm doing the.
Head nod. Brian Williams. Head
I'm
nod.
doing it. See,
Why?
my nose is crooked, but if I tilt it like this, it's straight. Like
Look at
Brian
that.
Williams.
So here's my
Right,
belief
why?
about this podcast.
B. Willikers.
It's really difficult to talk about yourself. Like I find it very hard.
That's why we're talking about abortion.
That's why we will talk about anything else except ourselves. I don't know how to be
I don't
like,
know
we
about
did
you
a really
guys.
good job doing
Guys,
this. Let's talk about abortion.
I write a weekly column about myself. I'm very good at this
How
point.
good are you
So-
at writing your own resume?
No, pretty bad.
Yeah, right? In my resume, every time I write it, it's like, here's my position on abortion.
Have you been writing resumes a lot lately?
Yeah,
Is there something I
I'm
need to
leaving.
know
I'm out
about?
of here. Well, you know,
Every time I see somebody appear on LinkedIn, no matter what, I'm like, uh-oh. Like Sean Hollister is like, Sean friended you on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh boy. Is that
all right.
normal?
So we did some wild stuff this year.
Yeah.
I think-
Yes.
So we can break it into like some categories. I think
Some cats.
the first thing that is wild that we have is that we built a whole new like features program and team, and we kind of didn't know what we were going to do with it. And it's grown into just today, a wild layout for Film Crit Hulk,
Yeah, Film Crit Hulk
which is
interview. It's really good.
We're trying to push.
Should read it.
It's like wild design.
It's a crazy design. You can do Bruce Banner or Hulk mode.
Really?
You didn't know that? There's a button. And you
I-
can do, Hulk mode is all caps, and Bruce Banner is like regular.
Oh, that's wild.
Really?
Yeah, regular capitalization. Yeah,
That's wild.
It's awesome.
I saw it in the app.
Here it is. Here,
I gotta go back to-
don't look at that. Go into Bruce. Go down and go into Bruce Banner mode. Well, first off, let's just take a look at this awesome feature. It's so great.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's amazing. You should read it because it's Film Crit Hulk.
We're just watching a side scroll.
So yeah, there it is. There's the. If you're listening to this on audio, that sucks.
We're
because-
literally just watching
because
the
there's
scroll.
way more interesting stuff going on in the video. There we go. There's Bruce Banner mode. Check it out.
That's crazy.
And it's like regular.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Anyhow, we built our future. You know, we knew going into the Verge that we wanted to do big features. You know, one of our things was like big reviews, big features. Like we don't just want to do. We said we're not a blog. Like we're going to build a news site, and part of that news site is going to be big features that we're going to spend a lot of time and energy and money and blood, sweat, and tears on. And we started, our first one was, I think the launch day was Condo at the End of the World, where we went to these crazy survival condos. By the way, we're going to have a series of posts where we kind of put together some of our best ofs from the year.
Yeah.
So those will be coming out shortly. But, you know, the features team has just grown, and here's Condo at the End of the World, has just grown and mutated, and we found like new like we figured out ways to do things that we didn't know how to do before, and it's been like a really incredible, exciting thing to be able to build something new that you kind of don't know what you're building. Like I think one thing I say about the Verge all the time, we didn't know what we were making until like it was there.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, like we had all these ideas about things we wanted to do, and I think even now we're still evolving what it is. You know, I don't think we're anywhere close to being what the Verge will be. I think we're just starting to edge into places that we wanted to go. But the features thing was just one of those things that we knew we wanted to do, but we didn't know how it would work or what it would look like. And we started putting all the pieces together. And now we have like a real team that does it, and it's been very exciting. And every time we do a new one, there's like a new evolution of of what we're doing. Sorry,
from the
I want to say one other
okay.
thing. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you up. But the other thing I want to say is that we knew we wanted to do it, and we've been figuring out how to do it, and we've been like learning, and it's been very exciting. But what we didn't know was would all the time and money and energy and blood, sweat, and tears would people care? And the thing that's been most encouraging and most exciting is that the features are like some of our biggest.
Yeah.
They're some of our biggest posts. Like just people love them, and it's awesome and encouraging. Go ahead.
I was just say, even from the perspective of a writer going in, I wanted to write things that were beyond my ability to write, and that's been a lot of fun with the Verge. Is that like getting to create something I know I want. I know I want to try to tell this story that's a lot bigger than any story I've ever told before, and trying to tell it.
Yeah.
And trying to get better at that. That's been really exciting and fun for me. I don't know
Yeah,
if
you're
it's as fun for everybody else that has to try to read
Your
it.
first
but-
big one was Romella.
Oh yeah, the Dennis
Was
Hong.
the Dennis Hong piece.
Oh, yeah.
Walking
Which
as
like
fast.
I remember we were going. It was
did
like
I do the StarCraft one before that, or was that after?
I think that was after. I think, but I could be wrong. But anyhow, but you did this big piece. You went down to Dennis Hong's like lab, and you know. But I remember we were kind of like, you wrote a ton of stuff. It was really long at first. And
I
we
had
were,
to stay up at IHOP like overnight all the time to try to write because I couldn't like focus during the day.
Yeah, but it was cool to figure out like what is it, what will we do and what will we not do in this piece, or
and
how will
what
it,
was
how
so
will it
what was so
function?
fun about that? I don't know if people. I mean, there was a time in my career that a new robot would come out, and I would write a blog post about it, or maybe even an editorial about it. You know, quick thoughts from Paul Miller on this cool new robot. You know. But with that thing, like, there's like, I want to understand how hard it is to teach a robot how to walk. And because it's a huge thing that we haven't really achieved as a society is building robots that walk on two legs.
Right. And once we do, we're done.
We're
done for Terminator style.
So
We're gonna get
anyways,
into Terminator.
and so I got to write that story,
Yeah.
which was way bigger. And so I think
I mean,
been
you-
able to do that a lot along the way. It's
And I
really
think
fun.
just the offline thing and you know the piece you did where you went to the rally, you know, which turned into kind of an incredible feature, like both from a writing standpoint and you know I'm not trying to just pat us on the back, but for no, I know this is why we got to get back to abortion.
About myself.
But you know that's one of those things where it was like, oh yeah, we can do this. And I think this is something that other people wouldn't do like this. They wouldn't have attacked it the way we did, and it's a really fascinating. I mean, if you haven't seen this piece, there was this Hasidic, Orthodox Jewish rally, kind of anti-internet rally, and it's sort of they were like, you know, we have to be aware of the dangers of the internet, and it's good to kind of not overuse it, and you know, it coincided with your offline thing. It was very close, and. Anyhow, it just turned into a really fascinating piece. And so I think that the thing is the feature stuff has been very exciting to me. And it's been doubly exciting because not only have we gotten to push, I think, journalism online, but I hope, but also people like it.
No,
people
I think
actually like it.
It's beyond I hope. I think that's actually the features program for me
Says Nilay Patel.
No, I mean we've done it, and I hear it from people, and I think that's really rewarding. But what's really cool is that we've taken that and what we've learned from that, and how we've done features that I think are very normal, right? Like I went when Vizio was launching PCs, I went and talked to Vizio, and we did a profile of Vizio's PCs, and that's like I've been reading that in my career, in my life for a long time.
Yeah,
but we took that, we made it weirder. We have a great video team. They did a great video with it. We're using what we learned doing sort of what's normal to do really weird stuff.
Yeah.
And then the really weird stuff is now feeding back into what's normal.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is like the best. Like that's when we can take something that you think you're going to expect, when you kind of understand what it's going to be, and then it surprises you. I think that's the most interesting thing we do.
And can I name names?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
When we're talking about features, props to Laura and Joe and Thomas and Jesse, and I was thinking ahead to James Shea, who does
the design.
One of our big layouts, which is insane. And also, I do want to say, Thomas Houston is my best friend, and he does a ton of these layouts, and he can't ever hang out with me because he's working so late making awesome features.
The layouts thing is really interesting. When we started, we were like, let's build a tool that it'll make it easier to do these like elaborate layouts. And we did come up with a tool that makes it easier, but it's still like really hard. And like if you want to do something basic, you can do something basic fairly easily. But if you want to get complex, which we do on these features, you have to know you really have to know what you're doing. And we didn't have James until very recently. I mean, James just joined us. Well, I guess now it's been like 6 months or something. I don't know. But you know, we didn't have a designer at all. So that, especially the first set of features, when you look at, that's like Thomas is like doing those himself, like all by hand, you know. Here's a new one. This is one we did on Dead Mouse, or Dead Mouse 5, as I like to refer to him. But look at this. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is weird. I like the fact that we can fit things that are in our template, like in our website, that just don't look like our website. That's always exciting to me. But anyhow, so that's been something that I'm very excited about. And you're right. Like, it's been the hard work. I mean, the people who've worked really hard. It's Thomas Houston, Laura June, Joe Flatley, and Jesse Hicks have been the core of the features team since the start, really. And obviously James Che, and there's a bunch of other people who contribute, and Josh Kopstein has done a bunch of stuff. And I mean, the list, almost everybody has done a feature on the team, but there's a core group of people who are driving.
Well, that's the great thing about the core, is that it's been able to help people like me, who I was not a features writer, like helping people along creating the stuff we want to create.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, that's been very exciting. You know, the same thing is true for reviews. I think we've done something that we want to do with reviews. I mean, I think that when we started talking about reviews, we're like, well, everybody does reviews. We've been doing them for years at Engadget. And what's useful? Like, what's good for people? What is better than just saying, you know, just doing a regular blog layout?
Divisive scores down to the
divisive scores.
You want to talk about
down
scores?
to the 10th of a point.
Scores?
Let's talk
I mean,
about
at
scores.
Engadget we had scores, and they were a matter of great debate. And one of the big debates was like, we had just scores. It was like we'd score something an 8.
Yeah.
You know, and people were like, "How did you get to 8? We want to know, like, what did you score?" So when we started doing the new system, we were like, let's break it down. Like, let's have variables for all of these products. Let's say, like, well, it's because of this and this and this and this, and that's how we got to this score. It turns out that like if you can give anybody anything to feel angry about, even if it's a sub score of a total score, if you score something like an 8, but something within the score is a 5, they won't pay attention to the 8.
Yeah.
The top score, the main score is an 8, but there's a 5 in there. The 5 is the only score that they'll think about.
Yeah.
So, like, in a way, it's been a blessing and a curse to show people how we score and why we score. I also think there's this thing that you know, we have a lot of readers, especially the guys who are really into the reviews, the guys and girls, of course.
Ladies of the whiz.
Ladies, they really are. They're talking about data. They're data nerds.
Right.
And so if like a score is like if there's some variances between like, Vlad reviewed this smartphone and Josh reviewed this one, and they've got this one says the screen is an 8 and this one says the screen is a 7, but they've got the same screen.
So
How is this possible?
I reviewed the 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro, and I gave it a 7.8 total score.
Yeah.
And the averages of my scores added up. They're averaged to 8.6. And I got like freak out emails.
It's a huge. That's a huge.
It's less than 1 point. I docked it 0.8 for overall value, right? What you get for the price. And like people, there was such anger at me.
What we need is a slider that just shows what we docked it.
Yeah. It's like, I was like, the overall value of this package, like it deserves. Anyway, but like, it's just funny to me that all of this discussion and all this, like, it's consternation. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, consternation.
I'm actually now more committed to the idea of these scores.
Oh yeah, so
than like ever before.
I mean,
and not because I'm like out for page views or any of that bullshit. It's just because I think when you are reviewing a product and you have to think about these elements and you have to say, is this better than the other thing? Where does this fall? If I had to give this a 1 to 10, it makes you evaluate the product much more stringently.
Yeah, I agree.
And it makes you decide if something is good or not.
I often, when I'm writing my review, I won't. I'll wait to write my wrap up until I've sat down and gone through my scoring.
Yeah.
You know, I'll like sit there and say, okay, I'm at the point now where I need to make a statement about the final statement here.
Right.
Like how can I quantify my feelings about all of these things? Is there a way to do it? And the way to do it for us is to numerically say, like, well, this felt like this and this. And they are like feelings. That's the thing that, like, I think it's like dangerous to confuse the way a reviewer feels about something with what is empirical fact. Like, does the fact that I gave a screen an 8 make it empirically better? Like, is it a fact that it's better than a screen with a 7? Not really. Like, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, especially if I didn't do both reviews. Would I be able to say, like, and then there's the time thing where it's like, I reviewed a screen, it was a 9 last year, and now a different device with the same screen is an 8 or a 7.
Yeah.
Why is that? And, you know, there's all kinds of factors. But I do think that it helps you to focus your opinion, which is often very vague on a product. Like sometimes it'll be like, well, I do like this thing and I don't like that thing. And the sound quality was good, but the screen wasn't the best. And it's like, how do I quantify this stuff into usable information for people?
Right.
And I think that like for an average reader, for a person who just needs to know, like, tell me what this is like. Like what, you know, how is it? How's the screen? You know, how's the performance? Like there needs to be a way to quantify that, to say in a snapshot. And that's what we're trying to do. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's perfect.
One thing that's really,
okay.
Go on.
Well, I will say that I am really grateful.
So weird. We all stopped on a dive there.
Man, we're learning to care for each other.
We really are.
It's moment, day at a time. I don't have it.
You have to reach Josh. This happened.
All right, cool.
That'll be a GIF.
I am definitely somebody who has gone to websites and just scrolled down and looked at the score. I'm definitely somebody who's gone to magazines and paged through. And
you want to know the bottom line.
And just looked at the pull quote. So what I'm really grateful for people who either don't have the time to read every word or like, you know, just aren't as obsessed with certain aspects of a story or a product and just want different parts of it. I'm glad those people put up with the other stuff and want, you know, are okay with the whole Verge and letting us, you know, geek out in different directions that, you know, we've kind of gotten this permission to do things the way we do them. And people can, you know, they take different, you know.
Well, so here, the thing I think is really
different values from it, how they want.
Different takeaways.
obviously
that's what I wanted. Different takeaways.
So Polygon just launched, and their review system, which is built on the same stack, the media stack Chorus, as our site, they have updatable reviews. So they can, at the bottom of the game review, if like new DLC comes out or there's a patch or something, they can update the score.
They can alter the score.
They can add a little bit more, and then you can see all the old scores back in time.
Yeah.
And I think we're planning on stealing
score versioning.
I mean, they're literally versions.
I think yeah.
And we're gonna steal a bunch of stuff from them, and that's.
I don't know if we'll do exactly that, but I think that to your point, we don't see the Verge as a finished thing.
Right.
We see it as a work in progress, and the hope is we got it to a place that's good, and we can get it to a place that's better tomorrow. You know, I think one of the tenets of our our beliefs, core beliefs, is like we're to never be satisfied with the product that we've made,
right?
And to feel that product can always be better. And there are a lot of people. It's funny. There's a lot of people in many industries, and we've seen it in technology. We see it in publishing. We see it all in startups, whatever, where people just say this is gonna be the best thing you've ever used.
Yeah,
and this is just gonna be the best experience you can possibly have. And that is not my style. I don't think are we the best? I mean, if you think we're the best, that blows me away, and I'm so happy. Do I think that we're doing the best that we can do? I mean, we may be very good. Maybe we're the best at some things, but I wouldn't say it. I'd say we're doing the best that we can do right now, and I think we can do better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're gonna work really hard to get better tomorrow. And to me, that is a feeling. I mean, I've always had that feeling when I was making music. It was like I'd finish a song or something and just feel, ugh. I should go back to the drawing board on this.
God, I did so much ecstasy and cocaine.
Why did I do all that ecstasy?
That 8 ball.
Everything sounded good while I was making this. That was a mistake. But I just think it's important to put yourself in a to be realistic with yourself and know that there are a lot of people who like a lot of different things, and I don't think we're going to please every person, and I don't think that's our goal. But I think trying to please ourselves and trying to make something great every day is very important to everybody who's on the team, and I think they work really hard to do that. And and I think it's working. I think people have responded to it, but people in the community can get a little bit they can overreact, I think, sometimes to some of what we say, like when we give a phone a 7.
Yeah.
And it's a Nokia.
But the large majority of them react, and it's awesome.
Large majority
so what I think
are reacting well within the realm of awesomeness.
Yeah.
And then there's just once in a while we get a few non-awesome reactions.
Well, I think we had a community at Engadget that just lived within the comments. And then now we have this whole forum, which is a world unto
the
itself.
Forums we didn't know. One of the things about the forums that's cool is that I read the forums I'm a forum.
Yeah, I read the forums every day.
Reader. I try to participate, but often I feel like my participation
it's distracting.
It can be distracting, and I'm just I it's hard for me to maintain too many conversations. I already have 400 unread emails every day, but I love reading the forums, and I see stuff in the forums all the time, and I'm like, I did not know about that, and I'm learning from our forum members, which is exciting, and also I love the fact that our forum members they write amazing posts.
Yeah.
Stuff that I'm this is an awesome thing to read, and you decided to put it here, and that is incredible. And I, find stuff out about things I don't know about. I learn about things that I thought I knew about that I don't fully know about. And, it's news in there and people's opinions and their own reviews and clever art and just all kinds of wacky stuff. And also they can complain to us, which is great.
Yeah.
We have a meta forum, which is, sometimes it's very meta, about just general Verge stuff, but often it's hey, this thing is broken. But that's actually really useful because before, the system of on a normal site, the system of hearing from your readers is convoluted.
The first post in meta right now is why the Verge has to stop scoring.
Yes. Well, no, I mean, that's great that they can even say that we have a community that can talk to us. And by the way, we read that and then we spit on it. No, I'm kidding. But we're not going to stop scoring.
Yeah. There's also one here called Josh Topolsky versus the world.
Yeah, it's me versus the world.
It's Scott Pilgrim.
I don't know what I've done. I don't really know what I've done. I think I've been pretty fair, generally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever. You know what? It's fine. You don't like me. You don't have to like me. No one told you. It's not a rule.
Yeah.
That you have to like Josh Topolsky. Josh Topolsky loves you. Not this Josh Topolsky, a different one.
A much nicer
A
one.
much nicer, kinder.
All right. Are we going to end this?
We should really wrap up. Let's hear just quickly. Let's see if anybody in the comments in the
They're
chat
just
room
they're just
here,
busy figuring out what other words go
do
to
they
on the
want to
Verge.
do they want to any
Megatron.ontheverge.com.
any favorite moments they'd like to
Polygon.
Is there anything they'd like to know about the Verge, the year one of the Verge right now? Here's your
Can we
chance.
take? Do we have the phone?
If you're in chat, we have no phone. If you're in chat right now, if there's anything you want to know from us about the Verge or the first year or whatever or abortion, just go ahead and ask.
We're hiring West Coast writers. They're
Yes.
asking that.
Yes. We're hiring. We're hiring. What else? What else do you have for us?
They're just saying the words West Coast writers over and over.
Just
again.
West Coast writers.
And then election.theverge.com.
Election works. Yeah.
They're literally, guys, we know many words end in ON. There's a 20-second buffer?
Really? I think we could do something about all the spam and chaos in there with a 20-second buffer.
Oh, comment system. You want to talk about it?
Oh, comment. Well, we talked about this before. We're bringing the stuff that they did for Polygon back to the Verge. Editable comments, collapsible comments are coming. Hopefully in the next. I don't know.
working
Could be
on
a
it, like,
week.
right
Could
now,
be a week.
yeah.
2 weeks. I don't know. It's happening soon, and we're going to continue to improve the commenting system. We are fully aware. I mean, one thing is, we want to build a really great commenting system. I think we have got a good one. I think it has a lot of room to grow and a lot of stuff it needs. But, we want to build a great commenting system that's really useful to our readers, and we use it.
Yeah.
So we're aware of the things that are annoying.
Yeah, we use it all the time.
And we're aware that on big pages, when there's a million comments, the pages get slow and funky. We're working on that stuff. We're aware of it. There's no question that we're going to improve it. It's just a matter of time.
Yep. Okay, here's a question.
What do you got?
And I know the answer. but
You're
I'm asking
the
it.
reader.
Were you guys scared when you left Engadget that a new tech site wouldn't take off?
Yes. Terrified. I was actually convinced.
Mortified, yeah.
I was relatively
Mortified?
sure.
That's a
Yeah,
shameful
mortified.
feeling.
No, mortified. Sort of like embarrassment. That doesn't really
Yeah,
work.
that's not right.
I was actually the thing that was most shocking
my
to me of
mortified side.
everything when we launched. Paul said he didn't like the layout of the site. Now, I had a very I was like, I want the layout to be different. We worked with Code and Theory and with our developers, and we talked a lot about how the layout would be different and what it would do and how it would function and what that would bring or not bring to the table in terms of. And we did a lot of stuff different. The features were really different. The way we handle the product database is different. And that's, by the way, I think big stuff is coming for that, like big improvements on that too. But there were all these things, and I just thought. I was terrified the night that we launched. I was sure that people were going to hate it. I was actually I'm actually hard on myself, but I thought people are going to see this and just be so angry and mad. Because everybody was, they really liked This Is My Next, which was super basic. And we'd gotten used to this very basic. It was the most basic form of blogging. So I was terrified that people were not going to get it and not like it. And the reverse happened, and I could not have been more happy about it.
I was when left Engadget, I was really totally not scared. I was really chill about it, and just because it felt so right, especially going with you guys and the other people who came over from Engadget, just and the people we started hiring right away, just knowing that these are obviously the best people, and it's going to be. These people are totally going to be able to make the best thing, but then the night, pulling the trigger, that's really really scary.
It was scary, and you also don't know. One of the things, and I've talked about this before, I think, and the developers thought it was really funny that when we launched, I was like, "Wow, this site is really big.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff, a lot of places to go." And I didn't realize it. I kept, just pushing. We just kept pushing for more things and doing more things, and in the heat of it, you kind of don't realize. And then we launched, and it was like, whoa, this is a lot to tend to.
Yeah.
right.
But
we have an enormous team to tend to it.
Now we have a big team. I mean, we had a much smaller team then, a growing team.
Yeah.
When we launched, it was smaller. But it was, it was
How
scary.
big is our team now?
We're over 50 people,
Yeah, it's 55.
55, something in that
And
range.
we'll get bigger.
And we're going to be continuing to broaden our horizons. What else? Any other questions?
They want to know about reader meetups.
So we want to do something. I want to do something for our readers.
But anything but meet them.
Yeah.
No, I want to do something like that. And I think this year it'll be. I think I think reader meetups, that concept is one way to think of it. I think that maybe there are other ways to come at it. I want our readers to be able to go and engage and do stuff with us. And I want to be able to provide something that's cool and fun and interesting for them to do. So, yes. The answer is basically yes to that question. The bigger answer that I would like to give is how do we do that that's cooler and better and more interesting than like just a reader meetup. So I think anyone can do a reader meetup.
Like with a 4-hour raffle.
Yeah, right.
God.
Like what could we do that's and I'm open, by the way, email me. Like I'm all ears if you're a reader and you have an idea. All right, what else?
You could do like a treasure hunt.
Easter egg hunt.
I'm not letting you into the IRC room.
Nope.
It's not going to happen.
Nope. We could do a public IRC
Paul,
thing.
they want to know what's your next 6 months like?
Kind of more of the same. I've got it's been 6 months without the internet, and the other day I stacked all the books that I've read because I was just trying to see if I've gotten much. I've got about like this many. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that, but I'd like to have maybe more than double that read.
What's the best book you've read since you've been offline?
I really liked. The Odyssey was like the first one I read. I also really like Plato's Minnow dialogue. I think it's Socrates talking, and he's just really weird and funny.
Do you think you've gotten smarter since you've been offline?
I think I think slower now. If that makes any sense. So I think I can be smarter in some ways and I'm dumber in other ways. Like I don't formulate tweets in my head anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that style of thought process. So I can sit down and maybe just read one book at a time, but maybe I don't have as many ideas about it.
Right.
So it's interesting. But I that's what I chose. I want to read books and stuff like that.
This is the path you put yourself on.
Yeah. So
You got to walk that path.
I am. I'm walking on it. I love it. It's the best decision I made.
What else? Any other questions?
Let's see. No.
Really? They don't want to know anything.
They want to know a bunch of stuff, but
I think we hit the 2-hour mark yet?
yeah, it's 2 hours, and our new office is opening in January.
Yeah.
we
Well,
just
it
have
got pushed back from the hurricane, so it's like early February.
Sure.
But,
Once we have that office, I will say this: once we have that office and we're in there, and our studio is in the same place as us, and we're all actually together, things will be awesome.
next year's going to be.
We're going to do some wild
that's
stuff. in
Verge
there.
2.0.
Next year, next year for us is a year of big. Like if we built a foundation, I think company wide with Vox.
Yeah.
This next year is the year that we put the house on top of that foundation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that house is going to be a sick mansion. Sorry, McMansion.
Yeah, but it's gonna have like one of those walls that like pivots around, and then there's the secret room with the communication.
Yeah. Way to keep it secret.
Oh, we're gonna have a phone you pull off the wall, and then the whole thing.
Yeah,
the floor
exactly.
spins around.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Just in general. There's also a new office in DC that we're opening.
Yeah.
Which has been delayed. Also, and these things always take longer than you think they're going to.
Yeah.
But no, and it is next year's big, exciting.
Yeah.
And we have CES. We're going to CES.
Yeah.
Which will be new. We're gonna have some new stuff.
Inevitably going to see it.
Inevitably going to CES in January. We have some new stuff. The holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
Got some stuff to talk about during the holiday season.
I am writing a great feature right now. It's gonna be awesome.
It's about Xmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our Vergecast
No, it's
for
not
this
about
week.
Xmas at all.
Sorry,
we covered
Ross.
we covered a lot of ground. Most of it was horrible, but I think we learned something about ourselves.
Then we shouldn't do the Vergecast.
We learned that we should not do the Vergecast, and we should definitely not talk about abortion
or politics
or politics at all,
or net neutrality
or neutrality of any type.
how'd you make a noise?
Anyhow, we'll be back next week, of course, with
How
more.
do you make it do that? Oh.
Because it's upside down.
Because it's broken. We'll be back next week with more Vergecasty goodness. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us at vergecast@theverge.com. You can So you're making me nervous. Ross is like nodding when I do something correct. You're like, yeah, that's right. You can leave a comment in the post. You can leave a comment in the post when it goes up, or you can find us on Twitter. The Verge is at Verge. I'm Joshua Topolsky. Nilay is Reckless.
God.
Paul is Future Paul. Ross is Oh No Roscoe, no E on the end. And I think that's it for us. As always, I wish you and yours the very best. And, whatever you do, don't turn out your bedroom lights this weekend.
Rock and roll.
Paul.
Paul.